data-data yang ada di kampus.
Iya, iya.
Ya hanya bisa gitu Pak. Sekarang nggak gimana lagi.
Eh, Pak Bedi, Prodi Agro-tourism ini berapa mahasiswanya Pak?
Bukan agro Pak, ke ekoturism Pak.
Oh, ke Agro-tourism.
Ya ke eko. Kebetulan ini materi di hari ini summer course-nya ke arah agro Pak, karena tema besarnya, konsep tema besarnya tentang
Hmm,
agro.
ya,
Ya
ya.
agrotourism.
Oke.
Mahasiswanya kalau yang di ini dulu ada PDD juga Pak kita.
Oh bagus.
Iya
Di
di
mana?
ini Pak, dulu di Lembata
NTT.
di NTT.
Oh iya, Mbak saya.
Ya di Lembata sempat itu sampai 2 tahun, 2 tahunan, 3 angkatan Pak.
Mm-mm.
Nah, itu susah karena jauh Pak.
Iya, iya.
Ya
Kami
tidak
punya PDD di Selayar, Kepulauan Selayar satu,
satu Pak.
di Lombok satu, di Gianyar, kemudian di Negara. Jadi ada 4 kita punya.
Ada 4.
4 ya.
Jalan Pak itu.
Jalan sangat bagus. Kalau yang di Kepulauan Selayar bagus.
Oh yang Selayar Pak. Ya
Hmm.
soalnya saya bingung itu Pak. Kemarin tuh kok ada itu kan penugasannya Pak. Penugasan dari Dikti terus kita sanggupin. Terus juga kenapa pendampingnya jauh gitu. Kenapa kita dapat di NTT. Itu saya bingung juga Pak. Jadinya belum lagi kan di sini harus jalan juga. Terus ke sana. Ya sempat ini sih awal-awal adaptasi terus jalan lancar ke belakangnya nih mahasiswanya akhirnya sedikit Pak itu. Karena dari sananya juga ternyata di pelaksanaan akademiknya itu kita dampingi kurang apa ya Pak? Kayaknya kurang serius, ada aspek politik masuk ke situ
Oh iya,
macam-macam Pak.
iya, iya. Saya
Rumit
merasakan.
Pak, makanya saya kemarin waktu itu tuh sempat juga rapat evaluasi gitu monepnya di sana ya seperti itu. Jadi repot.
Sama kasusnya, Pak. Sama.
Udah bisa dimulai nih.
Ya, oke, kita mulai ya Pak Be. Okay, there are 40 participants, but we will begin the course. Okay. Okay, wait a few minutes. I will prepare. Okay. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. The Honorable, the Head of Ecotourism Study Program, College of Vocational Studies, IPB University, the Honorable, the Lecturers of College and of Vocational Studies, IPB University, and the Honorable, the Speaker, Dr. Iketut Budharma. Welcome to Agro-tourism course. Thank you so much for being here. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this summer course, especially to this online class today. Okay, first I would like to introduce myself. My name is Kania Sofiantina Rahayu. I'm your host today, and I'm the lecturer of Ecotourism Study Program at College of Vocational Studies, IPB University. Before we begin the course, let me to read our agenda. The first is opening and welcoming speech from the head of Ecotourism Study Program, Mr. Bedi Bulyana, and the lecture from Dr. Budharma. After that, we will discuss about the topic, and after that, we will closing. Okay. Now we are going to listen the opening speech or welcoming speech from the head of Agro-tourism study program, Mr. Bedi Mulyana. Okay, how are you, Mr. Bedi? Okay,
Fine,
maybe
thanks.
you're okay. Okay, Mr. Bedi, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you to Mrs. Kania. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to all participants summer course 2020. Honorable all committee summer course, college vocational study IPB University, all lecturer, college vocational study IPB University, a speaker, Mr. Budarma, lecturer from Bali Polytechnic. Also, I would like thank you to all participants who have joining from this forum today. Tourism. Tourism is a concept, how to develop a country. For example, how to connect people from one place to another place, a government facilitating tourism destination development, community development, tourism attraction, transportation, amenity, hospitality industry, tourism activity, conservation, etc., etc. We all know all the countries has many resources, but nature and culture to attract people for coming. They are a capital potentially for development a country and also for sustainable tourism development implementation. Specifically, ecotourism or sustainable tourism development are the concept which has three important pillars: environment, economic, and community culture development. In this session, Mr. Budharma will explain to us about the topic completely, especially agrotourism concept in the case of the Bali, the most popular and famous tourism destination in Indonesia. I hope all participants enjoy this summer course and get much benefit from the online course and online experience. Thank you very much for your attention and nice to meet you all. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I return the time to moderator to Mrs. Kania and Mrs. Ira. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bedi, for the welcoming speech. And the course topic today is Agro-tourism 4.0 opportunities and challenges during the COVID-19 pandemic. We have a speaker who will explain and share about this topic. But before we introduce the speaker, allow me to introduce our moderator, Ms. Ira Resmayasari. I will share the curriculum vitae of Ms. Ira Resmayasari. Wait a few minutes. Okay. Yes. Ira Resmayasari, she is the lecturer of Ecotourism Study Program at College of Vocational Studies, IPB University, and she was a tutor at Indonesia Open University since 2014 until 2017. And she took the tourism master degree at Udayana University in Bali and Université d'Angers in France. And she studied in Pakuan University in major English literature. Okay, please welcome our moderator, Ms. Ira Resmayasari. The time is yours, Miss.
Thank you, Mrs. Kania. Okay, just checking. Do you hear me well?
Yes.
Good.
Nice.
Okay, great. Okay. Wait, how to minimize this anyway? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, as mentioned earlier that our topic today is Agro-tourism 4.0 opportunities and challenges during the COVID-19 pandemic, yeah. And the speaker is Mr. Ketut Gudarma. Okay, before we start the presentation, I'd like to inform you that all the participants, you will have the opportunity to submit any questions to Mr. Gudarma or the presenter today, the speaker, by typing your questions in the chat pane, yeah, and then you may send the questions at any time during the presentation, and then we will collect those questions and address them during the Q&A session at the end of the presentation. Okay, and then I'd like to inform you also that we will give you the material talk. There are one assignment you to do in groups, which will be explained later by the speaker, by Mr. Budi, Mr. Budi, and maybe I'll come back to that later on after the presentation. And then, the attendance list. You will need to mark your attendance twice actually. Okay, the first one, we will give you the link of the attendance here in the Zoom, and then the next one will be in Avieta, so you will have to do that through Avieta before the due time. Is there any phrase meaning due time? I don't know, but you have to do that before 6 p.m. Yeah, before 6 p.m. in Avieta, the attendance list. Okay, now allow me to share screen and read the profile of today's speaker. Okay, has it displayed on your screen? Has it played yet?
Yes,
already.
yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Dr. I. Ketut Gudarma. Yeah. Known as Mr. Budi. Yeah. He has got a lot of experiences here. So he is a senior advisor on international and industrial relationship to director of Bali State Polytechnic. Then since 1990, he has been a lecturer also at Bali State Polytechnic. And then since 2000, from 2013 to 2015, he was lecturing at Université d'Angers in France. And then since 2018, he has been a consultant in Uluwatu Tourism Object, Pekatu, Badung, Bali. And then in 2006 to 2008, he was a tutor in JSRATS, Perth, Western Australia. And then since 2006, he is a motivator and public speaker. Okay, his educational background. He was graduated, and then he took his TESOL. Yeah, He took his TESOL in 2005 in Phoenix Language Academy, Western Australia. And then he took his master degree in France and also the doctorate degree in France. Okay, and then he is fluent in French, English, and Indonesian, of course. And then in leadership, he is a secretary of tourism department, and then senior, as mentioned before, senior advisor on international and industrial relationship to director of Bali State Polytechnic, and also an agent of change of Bali State Polytechnic. And he enjoys traveling. He lives in Bali. I bet you all know Bali. And then you can contact him by phone or by email as written here. Yeah, that's the profile of Mr. Budi. Yeah, so please join me in welcoming Mr. Budi then. Mr. Budi, can you hear my voice?
Yeah, of course, very clear.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Budi, since I have asked you how you are, I hope all is well.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, then, without further ado, I would like to turn over the time to you, Mr. Budi.
All right.
The stage is yours.
Okay. So first of all, thank you very much for the ITB, especially the vocation departments on ecotourism, especially Pak Dedi as the head of the study program. Thank you very much. Ibu Kania, thank you very much for inviting me, and Ibu Ira. It's quite a privilege for me to be part of your team. And I hope we are going to be able to share with all of the audience this afternoon. And I know they are coming from everywhere. Some of them might be from Europe, some of them from Asia, from Indonesia. And it is a very privilege for me to be part of them. And what we are going to do this afternoon, we are going to just doing a kind of ice breakings, and we are going to share, since we are having the same problem, especially in the term of ecotourism. Wherever we are facing almost similar problem due to the COVID-19 pandemic. All right, so now I'd like to share the screen. But before that, please let me know if you are listening to me well.
We can hear you.
Yeah. What about those who are from other countries, who are not from Indonesia? Are you listening to me or not?
Yes,
Hello?
sir. We're listening.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. So now, please allow me to share the screen. Okay. The topic that we are going to deal with this afternoon is opportunities and challenges during the COVID-19 pandemic, a case study of agro-tourism in Bali, Indonesia. Well, actually, Bali, from the beginning of the tourism in Bali, actually started from the agriculture culture, from the Balinese tradition. Before 1920s, all of the Balinese were agrarian. All of the Balinese were farmers. But since 1930s, tourism was introduced to the island of Bali. And since then, Balinese people start reshaping their farming, integrating their farming with the tourism. So what we are talking about this afternoon is, we are talking about the interface between agriculture and tourism. So we are talking about the interface between agriculture and tourism. So agro-tourism is the link between agriculture and tourism. Okay. Well, I'm not going to talk a lot about the definition, but everybody knows that agri-tourism or agro-tourism actually is an agricultural product operating within the tourism interest. So how agriculture, farming or farmers, they try to adapt the land, the farming system, and to be integrated with the tourism development. And what we believe in Bali is tourism integrating agriculture is more sustainable because agriculture, when it is combined with the tourism, then the agricultural value will economically be increased. The value of the economic of the agriculture will be well developed. So in this case, farmers not only get the earning or money from their primary job as a farmer, but they also get some money from tourism. So this is actually a good sharing between tourism and farming. Now let's here we have rural, or sometimes we call it country, rural, or sometimes we call it villages. In the village, we have planting, cultivation. So we are planting plants and we are cultivating the lands with our system or with our traditional way, especially in Bali. So planting cultivation is actually the primary parts of the farming. So planting and cultivation related to the agriculture. And then we have the ideas of rehabilitating our soil or our land and improving and appreciating the heritage of the agriculture. So this thing will be beneficial for the environment. Then we are developing the tourism, and then we are developing the agriculture, and we are promoting them. Then this promotion of the agriculture tradition is part of the local culture or Balinese culture. And now we can see that agriculture, environment, and culture, agriculture, environment, and culture integrated with the urban economic development. So people from living in the cities, they would like to have an escape from a busy life to a peaceful and quiet places in the village. And they are looking for environment quality, and sometimes they are looking for images for social identity. Then tourism is coming. Rural lifestyle and urban economic development getting together in a place we call agri-tourism or agro-tourism. So we can see agri-tourism is an interface between rural and urban and between farmers and tourists. So we can see that agri-tourism has a very good value in terms of protecting our nature, protecting our culture, and also in developing the local economy. Okay. What is Bali agro-tourism? Agro-tourism is considered as an element of tourism, but it is always small scale. In Bali, when we are talking about agro-tourism, it is always a small scale, not like in America or in England, in Australia. They have huge farms because they have a lot of land. But Bali has a very limited land because Bali is a small island destination. And most of the land in Bali has been converted into tourism facilities. So it is always a small scale, and they are creating some event that are linked to local families and the agricultural tradition of Bali. So the idea is most of the agro-tourism in Bali, they try to promote the local culture, the local lifestyle, combining agriculture and tourism as part of the tourist attraction. Then agriculture is strengthening the local food supply and chains. So when we are exposing agriculture to tourism, then local farmers start using more modern technology in farming. And the farmers start aware of the quality that they have to offer to the tourists coming to their farming. And then building awareness of culinary tourism. So when you are traveling to Bali, you are going to see a lot of culinary tourism everywhere. And then evoking a sense of pride within the community. So when they are farming and tourists coming to the village, local people feel proud of their village, and they feel proud of their profession as farmers. So getting more and more young people, getting more and more interested in farming. Long time ago, let us say 25 years ago, farming is only for old people, because young people, they didn't want to work in the field or in the rice field or in the garden. They prefer to work in hotel, restaurant, or in the travel agencies. But nowadays, getting more and more young people interested to work in agriculture area, because agriculture is developed more modern and more prestigious. And of course, agrotourism is also preserving Balinese agriculture culture and also the Balinese tradition. Well, when we are talking about farming in Bali, we cannot leave the local Balinese culture. Balinese believe, we call it Balinese cosmology. Balinese divide the space into three parts. The first part is considered sacred place. They call it Utama Mandala. So it is sacred and only for the holy building. For example, for the temples, for them to worship God. And in Bali, mountain is considered sacred. And then they are having another part. The second part is Madhya Mandala. Madhya Mandala is a place for the place where people live. So where they build the house, where they build the villages. So they build where the population live, like houses, building, offices, and so on. And then the next one is Nista Mandala. Nista Mandala is a place for recreation, farming, and the sea. So when we see the division of the space like this in Balinese culture, so when you are developing agri-tourism in Bali, you cannot develop it everywhere, because you cannot develop agriculture or agri-tourism in the place that is close to sacred place or close to the temple, for example. Because most of the population in Bali, they are Hinduism, Bali Hinduism. Yeah. So we are controlled by the tradition. We can only develop agri-tourism in a special place where we can do farming. So we cannot do farming everywhere. Where would you like to? Yeah. And then I'd like to visualize like this. So you have mountain here, and this area here is considered to be sacred areas. And then the Madhya Mandala here is the place for the houses, farming, and then going to the sea. So you can see all of the farming or agri-tourism, they are going to be in the lowland, not in the upstream, but normally they are in the downstream. Because when we are doing farming in the downstream, we are going to get waters from the mountain. Bali has 4 lakes. We have Lake Buyan, Lake Tamlingan, Lake Beratan, and Lake Batur. So this small island, actually, we have no worry about water. We have sufficient water. But since tourism developed very fast in Bali, and we have a lot of golf courses, we have a lot of 5-star hotels with swimming pools, and then the water become a problem because water is not only irrigating the rice paddies or the farm or the field, but water is also irrigating the hotel, irrigating the swimming pool, and water-based attraction. So we have to be very careful nowadays, especially in the southern parts of Bali, where tourism is very massive. So in Bali, we have Subak. Subak is Balinese traditional irrigation system. So all of the water from the mountain, from the lake, irrigating the rice field in the lowland or in the coast, either in the southern coast, northern coast, or eastern coast or western coast. So those water is controlled and managed by an organization. We call it Subak. Subak is also basing their tradition by using what they call it Tritakarana or Triharmon. Balinese always believe they have to live in harmony with God, they have to live in harmony with nature, they have to live in harmony with fellow beings. So they try to control this island in the harmonious way as possible. But sometimes we also have a problem environmentally because tourism is so massive. We have more than 10 million every year coming to Bali, especially before the COVID-19. And the population in Bali is only 5 million. So tourists is more than the number of local people. That is a problem. But however, we try to manage tourism, culture, and agriculture in such a way to make sure that everything is well managed and well cared and sustainable. I'd like to show you a bit what type of agriculture or agri-tourism we have in Bali. Since we have a lot of rice field, this rice field is also integrated with tourism. So you can see some attraction like paddy planting, sometimes rice paddy field plowing. So the tourists coming from other countries, especially from America, from Europe, from Australia, they try to experience how Balinese planting the rice, how Balinese plow and cultivate the land. Then we have also a lot of coconut plantation, especially in the coast. We have a lot of coconuts, and these coconuts also manipulated and integrated with tourism. And we have some attraction like coconut tree climbing. Yeah, I think for those who are coming from Asia, climbing coconut trees is not a problem because everybody can do that without safety belt, without a safety rope. But then when European people from America or from Australia coming to Bali, in Balinese climbing the coconut trees in such a way, and it looks very simple and easy, then tourists would like to try that, but of course with safety measure. And then we have coffee. Yeah, coffee, especially in the mountains, we have a lot of coffee in the colder area. And every year, we are aspersing a lot of coffee. But again, as I told you, the coffee plantation getting less and less because the land is converted into hotel, villa, homestay, and so on. And now this coffee is organized into what they call it kopi luwak. Kopi luwak, or in English we call it seated coffee. Seated coffee is the biggest small-scale agrotourism in Bali. Almost every 1 kilometer, you are going to see a small hut, small area. They are offering seated coffee or luwak coffee. But unfortunately, for the last 3 months, seated coffee or luwak coffee become a problematic in Bali because the animal lovers organization think that seated coffee produced by abusing animal, because those seated is confined in a cage and they are forced to eat the bean of the coffee, and then the poos of the seated will be collected, and it is considered to be the best coffee on the world, and this is considered to be the most expensive coffee in the world. So if you would like to drink the most expensive coffee, you have to come to Bali. But now it become a problem because the animal lovers organization start promoting and even banning the seated coffee. And then the next one, we have a lot of cacao plantation also. Yes, of course, in Bali we have cacao tree. Yeah, imagine people, if you are from France, if you are from Germany, if you are from England, if you are from United States, if you are from California, if you are from Australia, you eat chocolate when you are very young, but you have never seen the tree of the chocolate. So the tree or the fruit of the chocolate is cocoa, and cocoa become a very interesting place for those coming from Europe or America who never see the tree of the chocolate. They're coming and enjoy picking the chocolate. And also in Bali now we have chocolate factory, so you can also see how they grow cacao and how the cacao been processed, and you even can join the process of making chocolate in Bali, the same as coffee as well. And the next one here is salaka palm. Salaka palm in Bali we call it snake fruit. Salaka palm from Bali or snake fruit from Bali is very popular in Indonesia because this is the best quality and the sweetest one. Even though we bring the seed of salak from Bali and we grow it in another place in Indonesia, the taste will be different because the acidity of the soil is different. So Bali is the good place for salaka palm. And we have a special agrotourism. We call it palm agro in eastern parts of Bali. The last one, we have two areas in Bali close to the lake, eastern parts of Bali and northern parts of Bali. We grow a lot of strawberry. Now we have a lot of agrotourism, small scale. We are offering strawberry picking. Yeah, so you pay the entrance fee and then you pick up the strawberry, or sometimes you can pick and eat. And the last one that I did put it here in the slide. In northern parts of Bali, we start promoting what we call a grape picking tourism. So in northern parts of Bali, we have black grape, we have vineyard, and we also have winery there. So Bali is small island, we have almost a lot of variety of vegetation that we grow that can be an attraction for tourists. Now, when we are talking about agro-tourism classification, we have three classifications. The first one is supplementary, when agro-tourism is not the main focus. For example, when Balinese, they are having rice field, they never think that the rice field is for tourism. But then during the planting season, during the harvesting season, tourists come and try to have experience. Then farmers try to take this opportunity and try to get the second income from tourism. So we call it supplementary agro-tourism. And then the second one, we call it complementary. Complementary agro-tourism is a sharing between agriculture and tourism. We have a lot of this model in Bali. I'm going to share you later on the model we call Rumah Desa. So that is a sharing. There is a businessman starting a business in the village and integrating the farming with the business, and finally they are creating what we call agro-tourism. And then we have primary agri-tourism. So primary agri-tourism is a special place designed only for tourism, but using farming or agriculture product as an attraction. So like what I told you, strawberry agri-tourism and luwak coffee agri-tourism, mostly they are primary agri-tourism. They are not growing coffee for living, but they're growing coffee just a model for the tourist attraction. And they are growing strawberry, not for themselves, but just for tourism, for the sake of tourism. So that is, we call primary agri-tourism or agro-tourism. Now, let us see the consumer agri-tourism interaction. They have direct interaction, indirect interaction, and passive interaction. And all of this agro-tourism. Well, yeah, direct interaction form of the tourism activities, and they are coming to the farm and they directly involved in the farming system or in the farming tradition and activities in the village. So that is direct interaction. Indirect interaction, tourism activities actually created in such a way where in that place tourists will be offered the product of agriculture. And then passive interaction, where the tourists with the farming activities, they are not with the farming activities, but they just try to see from a distance, and then try to understand the product of the agriculture. So they are passive, they're not interacting actively.
Di perusahaan ini kalau perlu sampai dicari dengan gaji segini.
And then now we are talking about agro-tourism and its impact on natural environment. Even though agro-tourism considered to be eco-tourism, sustainable tourism model, but if it is not well managed, it can be dangerous for natural environment. Because agro-tourism will be a place where provider, consumer, and visitor interact. If the density or if the penetration of the tourists into the agritourism, not control and manage, it can be dangerous for the natural environment as well. Sometimes, for example, in my village, a lot of people start cutting down the coffee plantation and change it into strawberry. It can be dangerous for the soil. It can be dangerous for the environment as well, because it could cause flooding if they are not well managed and controlled. Because they think that it's much easier to sell strawberry farm instead of selling coffee farm, because coffee only produced once a year, and strawberry almost you can have a product every day. So sometimes farmers try to do this without taking care of the risk that might happen in the future. Now, what is the benefit of the agrotourism? Agrotourism in Indonesia, we have huge organization. We call it Asosiasi Agrowisata Indonesia. Asosiasi Agrowisata Indonesia. So there is a huge organization also in Indonesia. And also we have International Agri-tourism Association, of course. But in big countries like America, France, Netherlands, Australia, they have a huge field for the agritourism. But now we try to see what is the benefit of the agritourism. The first one, agritourism provides education. A lot of young children going to the rice field, going to the chocolate plantation or coffee plantation. They learn something. They learn how to raise chicken, how to raise pig and cows, how to raise lamb, for example. So they learn something, and even we learn a lot from the nature. Not only kids, but we are adult, young generation also. We learn from the nature. So agritourism or agrotourism, the first thing is like a resource or source of education. And the next one, farm land preservation. In the case of Bali, if the farm owned by the farmers can earn money, can earn dollars from the tourists, they are not going to sell the farm, because Bali is quite advanced in tourism, and the taxation, the tax rate is quite high in Bali because of the value of the land. And then the farmers tend to sell the land because they cannot manage and organize it, and they cannot pay the tax. But if the farm managed well and can be integrated with tourism, then the farmer will not sell the land, and the farmer will preserve the land. And then agriculture heritage lifestyle sharing. This is important. Agriculture heritage lifestyle sharing owned not only by Bali, but by all regions in Indonesia, even all parts of the world, because we cannot live without agriculture. We have to understand, we have spaghetti, we have French fries, we have hamburger, we have type of foods on our table. They're all coming from the agriculture. So agriculture is the most important life support for all humankind. Imagine if there is no agriculture, we cannot live. And then rural culture, traditional preservation. Then since the culture of the rural people exposed to tourism, then rural people or village people, they feel proud of the culture and they tend to preserve it. There is a theory actually a lot of people a long time ago, they are worried about Bali because there's so many tourists coming to Bali. Maybe Balinese culture will be destroyed. Balinese culture will disappear. But Balinese people believe that their culture has traditional value, but it also has economic value. Then they preserve the culture. And then additional income for the landowner. That is very important. So we know now that the agriculture product is not quite expensive, and sometimes the farmers, they have to buy fertilizer. The fertilizer is quite expensive, and to care the farming is quite expensive. But if they can get additional income from the tourism, they will be very happy. So they can get the product from the primary business farming, and then from the secondary business agriculture, tourism, sorry. And then quality local product. Nowadays, most of the hotel in Bali, they try to buy local product and promoting to the client and putting a big sign in front of the restaurant and saying, we are using local product. Because tourists coming from other countries, when they come to Bali and they understand that what they are eating coming from the local people, they think the money that they spend in Bali contribute to the prosperity of the local people. And then farmers community integration with the tourists. Yeah. So if agro-tourism does not exist, there will be no link, there will be no interface between farmers and tourism. So we are lucky because our local government having a policy to integrate tourism with local people, especially with farmers. By doing that, farmers also get a contribution from tourism. And then interaction visitors and farmer, I already explained it, and a natural ecosystem preservation, of course. When we are growing plantation, of course, it will be very good with the natural ecosystem, and the ecosystem will be preserved automatically. And then tourism appeal. So nowadays, I have read a lot of articles, especially about the trend for the future tourists after the COVID-19. Almost 80% of the tourists, of the people, they would like to travel to a rural area, to a peaceful place, quiet and not crowded, and minimize the contact with other people. Yeah. So tourism appeal, it become a strong point, especially after the COVID-19. Ecotourism will be wanted and will be searched by tourists to escape from the city. And then revitalize local economy, of course. So it is automatically because tourists come to the village and spend their money with the local people. And then job opportunity. This is a good thing. Since local people in the village, they can create job through the agro-tourism, they will not go to the city. So we can minimize urbanization. Since a lot of people coming from the village, they try to find a job in the city because they are lack of skill, and then they cannot find a job. And unemployed urbanization could create a lot of criminal and creating problem in the city. And then local people quality of life, of course. Yeah. When the economy is developed and people will have a better life quality. Recreational. Yeah. village is not just a village, but village is identical with a place for having fun, a place for recreation. And then scenic beauty. You know, rice terraces in Bali, like in China, for example, Bali and China, the places, or in Thailand. So a lot of people traveling to the rice field and try to see the beauty of the rice terraces. In Bali, we have a place called Ceking that is very famous among tourists. That is the best place for them to enjoy rice terraces. And rice terraces and also the subak system has become World Heritage in Bali. So the place we call Jatiluwe, that is now become a World Heritage because of the scenic beauty created through farming tradition. And then irrigation system working very well because everybody aware that water is very important and water is life. And then the last one, of course, local pride. Balinese or people will be proud of their region. They will be proud of their village when the village known and visited by tourists. Okay, why are they traveling to agro-tourism? So we can see 70.60% of the international research demonstrating they are going to travel to a remote place, to a rural area, to a village, to a more secluded, serenity and peaceful places. So after COVID-19, most of the people would like to travel to a rural area, to a village. Of course, agro-tourism will be the best destination in the future. Yeah, so this statistic is showing you that agritourism has a big opportunity after the COVID-19. And then in some places, how to manage the visitor during the COVID-19, they are using timing. For example, in the morning, from 9 to 11 a.m., only clients with small children, a mother, a father with small children, allowed to come to agritourism and to enjoy the beauty of the agritourism or might be picking up activities. And then the afternoon from 12 to 30 to 4:30 p.m. adult, or we call it senior citizen. Senior citizen will be invited. And the last one, teenagers, mostly from 8 until 20. So by deciding visiting time like this, agro-tourism will be safer in terms of the transmission of the COVID-19, transmission of the virus, COVID-19. So one of the strategy, not only just by using mask or washing hand or by scaling social distancing, but managing the time is also very important because senior citizen is quite risky when they are getting what do you call it transmission from younger generation. So that is why we have to split them based on the time. I'd like to tell you once again what type of agro-tourism do we have in Bali. I try to what do you call it to tell you 7 names of the agro-tourism in Bali. So we have Bagus Agro, that is quite big one, quite modern. They have coffee picking activities, and virgin coconut oil making. So they have a coconut plantation, and they teach visitors how to make PCO. And then cooking classes, chocolate making, biking around the area, bird watching. They have also yoga, camping, and trekking. So if you are going to visit Bagus Agro, you have a lot of things like this to do. And then we have Rumah Desa. Rumah Desa translated into English, village house. In Rumah Desa, they have rice planting activities, feed plowing, trekking, and agriculture classes. So they teach you how to plant rice, how to plant cacao, how to take care of livestock they have in the village. And then Lumbung Sari House Luwak Coffee. This is quite popular in Bali. This is selling seeded coffee. So they have coffee testing, herb and infusion, and coffee making processes as well. Nah, Sibetan Agro, this is a special place in Bali where you can enjoy salaka palm, and you can also have salaka palm picking activities, trekking, and they also have restaurant among the salaka palm. A good place and very green. And Agro Banjar, this is in the northern parts of Bali. We have grape picking. So we have a lot of vineyards here, and we also have winery. So now, when you are in Europe, for example, in France, you can go to winery and you can taste the wine. We call it degustation. And now you can do also degustation in Bali. Pancasari Strawberry Farm. This is a special area where people grow strawberry in a very small scale. And we have Cacao Agro. We have cacao trekking, chocolate making, paddy planting, and coconut climbing. So those are the major activities of the agro-tourism in Bali. And there are a lot of type of agro-tourism, but the product is almost similar. Okay, so I talked to the Awai Association. This is Indonesian Agro-Tourism Association. How agriculture on the island of Bali well integrated with tourism based on the philosophy of Trita Karana. So tourism culture in harmony with God. So when tourism integrated with culture, they are going to learn about how Balinese people live in harmony with God. When tourism integrated with social and lifestyle, they will learn how they live in harmony with other people or with fellow beings. And when tourism integrated with nature, how they are going to learn live in harmony with nature. So the education provided by most of the or almost all of the agro-tourism in Bali, they are talking about these three harmony. Well, I'd like to tell you about Rumah Desa, because Rumah Desa in my research is the best model. Rumah Desa owned by an investor. They start investing in small scale farming lodge in a village, but then the supporters of the business are farmers. They get the product from the farmers. They use the farming area for the tourist attraction for the guests, and then the farmers get a special benefit and profit from the participation and the activities with Rumah Desa. So the total area actually quite big, yeah, about 376 square kilometer. The population of the village where the Rumah Desa is 2,202, 586 family there. And what do they do in Rumah Desa? They have paddy planting, rice feed, plowing, trekking, cooking classes, Balinese agriculture education, Balinese culture education, and they have accommodation, and they have also restaurant. And all of the workers in Rumah Desa, they are people from the village. So getting less and less people from this village moving to the city, and all of them recruited, work directly or indirectly in the Rumah Desa, in the village. So we hope that this type of business, or this type of agriculture model, will be promoted in this island. So the company will understand how to manage, because they are professional, but this professionalism shared and integrated with the local people. And we can see tourist visit to Rumah Desa from 2015 and 2019. We can see in 2018, it's quite high, yeah. But unfortunately, most of the visitors to agro-tourism in Bali, they are foreigners. They are foreigners. Local Balinese, they are not quite interested. We have local, but they're coming mostly from Jakarta, from big cities. So why I said it is quite unfortunate, because during the COVID-19, we don't have foreign visitors because of the lockdown. And since we don't have foreign visitors, agritourism during the COVID-19 pandemic has a big problem in Bali. And then for the last 3 months, as I told you, seafood coffee was banned. It has been banned because it is considered to be cruel with the animal. Yeah. And in the future also, when we are talking about the case of Bali, as I told you just now, most people, based on the international research, they would like to travel to rural areas, to a quiet place, to a secluded place, and to a serenity place. But most of them, they would like to travel short distance. They would like to travel, they call it proximity traveling, a close distance. So if they are traveling short haul distances, so they are traveling among their countries or within their countries. For example, Chinese tourists, they are going to travel to visit rural areas only in China. Maybe they are not traveling to Bali, visiting the agro-tourism in Bali. So the most important thing now is how we can encourage local people, Indonesian nationalities also interested to visit agri-tourism. Integration between farming community with agro-tourism. Yeah. So we can see this is the model of the Rumah Desa. I just try to visualize in Rumah Desa, they really integrate all of the richness of the culture they found in the village to be part of the product of Rumah Desa by integrating local people. And this is the Rumah Desa anticipation during the COVID-19. So Rumah Desa workers and tourists, they have a very tight procedures and when they would like to enter the areas. And Rumah Desa has got certification from the government, and it is certified to be a quite safe place for tourists to enjoy the rural activities or agro-tourism activities. Okay, this is the activities of the tourism during COVID in my village. All of this is strawberry farm. And this strawberry farm actually initiated by workers who lost their job in the hotel. They coming back into the village and they start developing small scale agro-tourism, especially strawberry picking activities. But when I was there, I didn't find a tourist coming because yeah, they're still worried and it's quite new one, and they don't have a system, a model and procedure how the visitors visit this place based on the protocol of the COVID-19. Now, agro-tourism issues in Bali. The first issue is institution problem. Balinese village controlled by multi-layers institution. So in Bali, we have government institution in the village level, but we also have traditional village. And we also have irrigation organization. We have temple congregation. So the management of the agro-tourism sometimes become problematic. Some agro-tourism belong to the traditional village. Some agro-tourism belongs to the official village, and some agro-tourism belong to the irrigation association, and some of the tourism village belong to the temple congregation. So it is hard to control because all of them, they have their own power to control what they have based on their organization. But however, the representative of the government in the village, we call it official village, control them to make sure that they do against the prevailing legal law system or legal system. And then the second one, small scale individually managed. This is a problem because when you are starting a small scale agritourism, the farmer does not need to organize a license or permit from the government because a farmer has absolute right to the land. They just modify the farming and then put the signboard in front of the street that people can come and enjoy the agro-tourism activities. So what I'm expecting actually as a researcher, the government start developing a reliable system to control the development of agro-tourism, both the big scale and the small scale. Due to COVID-19, those who lost their job in the cities, they come back to the village and initiating agro-tourism. The problem is the agro-tourism initiated by people from the cities who lost their job in tourism, competing with the existing agro-tourism organized by local and traditional people. So I'm predicting there will be a conflict of interest in the future because people coming from the city, they have a better knowledge and especially they have a better strategy in marketing and promoting the product. While local and traditional people, they don't have that capacity. And then human resources in the agro-tourism is not well trained and they are unskilled people. And then no client during the COVID-19 pandemic, or 18% of the client are foreigners. So as I told you, since 80% of the client are foreigners, then it will be a problem. So that is why how we can motivate the local Indonesian nationalities also enjoy the agro-tourism. And the last one, the big issue in Bali is the seafood coffee is banned. So as I told you just now that seafood coffee considered to be cruel because farmers consider to abuse animal for economic interests. Okay, so that is all of my explanation about the case of agro-tourism in Bali. But now we are coming to the project. The project that you are going to discuss and you are going to talk, to share with your friend, with your college is we can see that agro-tourism has an opportunity to be a trendy destination during and post the COVID-19 pandemic. Yeah, you can see from the research, 70.6% of people all over the world would like to travel to rural areas, enjoy secluded place, quiet, peaceful, and serenity. So that is opportunity. But the providers of the agro-tourism and rural community, on the other hand, feel worried because they worried if the visitors will bring the virus. They are worried about the virus transmission from the visitors. So in this case, you need to discuss what is the best solution to break this problem. Since post-COVID-19, characterized by short haul and short stay travelers, so it means that visitors will be dominantly domestic and they are not interested in agro-tourism because the statistic demonstrated like what happened in Bali, almost 80% of the consumers of the agri-tourism are foreigners. And then what you are going to do is please develop a project by integrating the opportunities and challenges facing by agro-tourism 4.0 during and post the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, so I think that is all what I can share with you. And I hope you can learn something and we can share something together because we are coming from different parts of the world and we have different cases and we have different issues. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you very much for being patient to listen to my explanation. And now the time and the floor, I'd like to return it to Mrs. Ira. Could you please? Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Budi, Mr. Budi, for your great presentation. Mr. Budi has announced the project that you have to do. Is there any question about the project before we go on to the Q&A session? Okay, means that is clear enough. Okay, yeah.
Sorry, ma'am, I have question.
Yes. May I go on?
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Budi, for the amazing presentation.
Yeah.
I would like to ask about the project. For me, it still didn't clear. Is it first of all, is it individually project or team? And the second question about the project is, do we have to give an example for one area or maybe one province or the other? Maybe you can explain more about that. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to tell you once again that this project is adaptable to any situation where you are now. I'm not expecting you to do the project based on the case in Bali, but basing on the case in your region, in your village, or in the places that you have seen, you have experienced about the agro-tourism. And then whether this project will be in group or individual, I'd like Mrs. Ira to explain about this and how will the participants submit this project so it belongs to the committee. Please, Ira.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Pak Budi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Budi.
This is a group discussion actually. This is a group project. So we have divided the groups into 6 groups, I suppose. Each group contains around 10 to 11 people. And then, do you know already which group are you in?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is the group discussion, this group project, I mean. Yeah, and then the ground rule is, let me check. Okay. Yeah, after you do the discussion with your group, you have to submit the paper into Ivieta. But the file types accepted are only PDF, RTF, DOC, or DOCX, yeah, docs, yeah, like that. And then you have to submit it before next Tuesday. I mean, the due date is Tuesday, so you must submit the paper before Wednesday. Yeah, before Wednesday, because the sooner the better, actually. The sooner the better, because Mr. Budi, yeah, it means that Mr. Budi doesn't have to be in a rush to do the marking, I mean.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, so there are 6 groups, Mr. Budi.
Okay.
Yeah, and the EKW, the Ecotourism Study Program, have to submit the score, the final score, to a vocational school on Friday. Mrs. Kania, Friday?
Yes, okay, Friday.
Friday, and then the announcement of final score is on Saturday, because the closing of this summer course be on Saturday, right?
Yep, yes.
Yeah.
It's clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that clear enough? Yeah, okay.
Thank you very much,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, Aji Rafael. Okay. Okay, then we are now going to the Q&A session. It looks like, oh, quite many. Okay, the first question comes from Ridoni. Yeah, Ridoni Chandra.
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
I spell it right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Rioni asked that I want to ask about how Bali people, tourists attract owner, or the government deal with tourists that always littering, that makes the environment looks dirty with massive number of tourists that come to Bali every year. Okay, how did the government deal with tourists who are always littering? Yeah, because the last time I visited Bali, I found out that a lot of tourists, local or outsiders, still littering, or even though the place already provides the tourists with lots of trash can. Okay. I hope you get the question,
Yeah, I got
Mr.
it.
Budi.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you very much. I'd like more and more people criticizing the island of Bali, because when the government heard about the criticism, they're going to fix something. But Bali, for the last 6 months, almost a year now, we are promoting Bali plastic-free island. And now, if you are buying something in Bali, in the supermarket or wherever you are, you will not get the plastic bag. You have to bring your shopping bag, and you will not be served by the tellers or by the seller if you are not showing your shopping bag. That's the first one. And of course, Bali Islands cannot be controlled only by government, but also by people and also the visitors. The awareness of the visitors, especially local visitors, because sometimes I went to Bedugul Botanical Garden. This is the popular place for local, and sometimes big buses coming from other islands. They are enjoying the beauty of the nature, and then they have lunch. And after lunch, the plastic and the paper of the lunch box are everywhere. So in this case, actually, education is not only in the tourist destination, but the education must be started from the family, from the school, and then also from the destination itself. I think the most important thing is how we develop awareness from ourselves. So cleanliness or environment is not about other people, but about me first, and then about other people. But however, if you're coming now to Bali, sometimes I'm proud. Bali is getting better and better. Not perfect, but getting better and better. Especially after the plastic bag free. Because if you litter the plastic bag, you might be fined by the government now. Okay. But please put a lot of criticism about Bali. I love it, because if you are silent, people will not do anything. So we have to say something about something that is bad for the environment. Is it answering your questions?
Yes, Mr. Budi, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, going to the next question, the second question, Mr. Budi, from Hannah Ho. Do I pronounce it right? Okay, good afternoon, sir. My question is, the stereotype of people nowadays always think that the tourism spot, including the agro-tourism, is not safe anymore due to the pandemic, because that place is mostly often visited by the tourists from other country, which is probably the carrier of COVID. So what can we do to change the people mindset? Think that the place is not dangerous, maybe, yeah, to change people's mindset, yeah. Since I believe the agro-tourism and the authorities is really playing their role on making sure that safety of everyone before accepting the tourists to come in. Okay, Mr. Budi.
Okay, so thank you very much, Hannah. Nowadays, actually, we are in unprecedented situation. Unprecedented situation. No one control, even the biggest country, superpower like America. They have, they are not convinced what they are going to do now and after the COVID-19. So we are in unprecedented situation. But however, everybody, we have to do our best. Not only expecting other people to do something, but we have to do something by ourselves first. And then the next thing that we are going to do is actually we have to demonstrate to the visitors that the agrotourism that we organize is a safe place to visit. First, at least there is a special place where the visitor first can wash their hand. So you are going to provide sanitizer, Yeah. And then you need to provide water for washing, and of course, detergent required. And try to demonstrate also a distance, like you have to put signage is very important, where the visitor have to stand, and then where the visitor have to walk, so the entrance and the exit must be very clear. But nowadays, as I told you, in my village, because they are organized by local people, they just say that it's agro-tourism without a regulation or without rules. But what we are expecting now to do is the government intervention. The government has to step down and to educate people how they can manage the agro-tourism. The question is how we can change the mentality of the people. It is very hard because COVID-19 is not only a problem of health, but it's now become a psychological problem. And a lot of people traumatic because some people, they're losing the one they love because of the COVID-19. So to to recover from this, it takes time. But we are going to be sure that the place will be safe only when the vaccine has been distributed equally and the vaccine has been proved that is effective for the virus. And nowadays, whoever you ask, how can you convince? You cannot convince. For example, I'm now in Bali. If you ask me, Pak Budi, I would like to travel to Bali. Can you guarantee that I'm not going to be transmitted by the virus? No one can answer yes, because we are dealing with a very small germ, invisible germ. We never know. Maybe now the germ is in my hand, the germ is in my clothes, and we cannot see. But the good thing is precaution. Everybody has to be precarious. You have to be very careful and take care of ourselves, not relying on the other people, but we have to take care of ourselves as well. This is a sound like an easy question, but it is super difficult to answer, and even maybe Mr. Jokowi cannot answer this one. Who can guarantee? Yeah, I think that is Ibu.
Yeah, that's scary actually. But it doesn't mean that we mustn't just stay at home. You can do the traveling now, of course, ya Pak Budi.
Yeah, but in some other countries, I see actually in Colorado, in America, or in big countries, they have virtual agro-tourism activities, especially for the livestock. So the providers of the agro-tourism, they set set a very good camera around the agro-tourism. And if you would like to enjoy, you have to reserve and you transfer amount of money, and then you can get the channel and you can enjoy virtually.
It must be different, the feeling of such traveling.
Yeah. Yeah, as you know, Bu Ira, tourism is high touch and high tech. Touch, how can we touch the cow? For example, if I would like to pet the cow, if I would like to pet the lamb, but it is only the picture that we see on the screen. Yeah, it's different, but I think in the future it will be a solution.
Yeah, okay, couldn't agree more. Thank you, Mr. Budi. The next question from Luluk Kairani. Hi, Mr. Ketut. Thank you for your great presentation. My name is Lulu from IPB. I'm actually live in Riau. There's a lot rubber tree and palm oil tree, but very few vacation location in here. In your opinion, can we develop our potential, in agritourism, and how can we make a unique agritourism in Riau?
In Riau, okay. So if I'm not mistaken, she's talking about palm oil plantation.
Yes.
Okay, palm oil plantation. Yeah, I visited some places like in Sumatra mostly.
Yeah.
Lampung. Okay. In State Polytechnic of Lampung, they starting a tourism study program based on the agrotourism, because in Lampung they have, for example, a lot of palm oil plantation, and in Lampung also they have pineapple plantation. But palm oil plantation is something very exotic for European. Why not? If we can make Salaka palm in Bali to be agrotourism and unique, and I think palm oil plantation like in Riau will be also very interesting. But remember, when you are developing ecotourism, you have to develop an ecosystem. You cannot develop ecotourism or agritourism only in a remote area, but there is no accommodation, no restaurant, no other attraction around it. There must be something around your agrotourism business. You cannot just be proud you are having agrotourism farm, but without other ancillary, other facilities around it. So that is impossible. So make sure if you would like to develop Riau to be agrotourism unique, you have to develop other system, other ecosystem around that. Okay. Am I answering your questions, Anna? Hello?
Waduh, gua nggak tahu. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I lost the connection.
Yeah.
Ups, gimana caranya ini? Oh, getting nervous here.
Ganti akses
Gimana caranya? Oops.
Oke, sebentar ya, saya kesana.
We are sorry, Mr. Ketut, and also participants. We have to wait for a while. I'm sorry.
No problem. Good.
Check. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yang HP. Udah jawab yang Bapak. Okay. So sorry. It's embarrassing. Yeah. The next question is from Vira Sukma Gustian. Okay. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Vira. This pandemic makes impact for profit in Bali. So to overcome this, what agro-industrial products are best to sell during this pandemic? That's the question, Mr. Budi.
Okay. Well, as I told you just now that during the pandemic, most of the agro-tourism product is stagnant. Let us say we have 80% of the customers, they are foreigners, and about 20% they are coming from Jakarta mostly. But what happened now during the pandemic, traveling to Bali become very expensive. For example, if people from Jakarta would like to travel to Bali, first they have to get the rapid test first. And then they can buy the air ticket. And most of the people in the island of Java, they would like to travel by their own private car, visiting one place to the others, just in Jakarta. And nowadays also, the toll road developed by government provide access to all places in Jakarta very well as well. So now the problem in Bali, if you are visiting Puncak, for example, most of the hotel in Puncak, they are having a lot of visitors. The occupation sometimes 48% and even 80% during the weekend. But in Bali, small hotel, no occupancy, because local people, they are prefer traveling just among the island. The same thing also people in China nowadays. They are traveling, but they are just traveling within China. Now, for the post-COVID, I'm talking about the post-COVID. For the post-COVID, I think coffee is still the best one. Coffee is still the best one because even though CPET coffee is banned or prohibited, but modern machines start coming to the village now. They start making a small barista in a village. Yeah, so they try to combine coffee machine like barista with the traditional model. They still mashing or making the coffee powder by using traditional way, but then the machine try to check the hygiene of the coffee. And for me, and I see from the research, coffee is still the best agro-tourism in Bali. And if you, I don't know if you have visited Bali. Now in most of the coffee plantation, especially agro-tourism coffee in Bali, they have swing. They have ayunan. Yeah, if you swing 4 times, you have to pay 100,000 rupees. So you drink coffee and you get swing. So 4 times swing, you have to pay 100. So at least if you are traveling and visiting coffee agro-tourism, you spend about 200,000 rupees. It's still the best one is coffee. Yeah. Ibu. No voice.
Sorry, Mom, you're mute.
Oh yeah, thank you so much for the information. Oh my God. Yeah. Pak Budi, there's a question from Elilin Capio from ISATU Lyon campus. Yeah, what varieties of cacao you use for product?
From France?
Yeah,
Lyon, is it France?
Lyon campus. No, not Lyon.
Lyon.
France, yes.
LEON. Yeah, Elilin Capio.
Yes, ma'am. It's a branch of ISATU from the main campus of city.
In Philippines or?
Yeah, from the Philippines.
Philippines. Oh, okay. Yeah, Elilin asked what varieties of cacao you use for production of making.
Production of?
Chocolate making.
Okay. All
the
right.
first episode, yes.
That is very interesting question, Alilin. Balinese people, we are farmers in Bali, and I'm the son of a farmer. We never understand about what variety, what type of cacao. We only understand one cacao. If you ask Balinese, what type of cacao is this? They have no idea. They just say, this is cacao for chocolate. But in Bali, we call it local cacao. Local cacao. I don't know if this cacao that we have in Bali also exists in Filipino or not. But the research done by expert from France, and this French family now starting chocolate industry in Bali. They call it Bali chocolate. Now, Bali chocolate actually produced through the cacao bean, local cacao beans of Bali. Local cacao beans in Bali, the color is green and then pink. That we don't have the one like yellow one. We have green and pink the color, but I don't know if you ask me about what variety. I have no idea. Alilian, you have to come to Bali and enjoy our chocolate, Bali chocolate.
Yes, sir. Hope so next year. Okay.
Have you been? Have you been?
I wanted to try it, the authentic Indonesian making chocolate. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, the chocolate making in Bali is tradition and modern. Yeah, it's always like this. The chocolate factory always try to demonstrate the cultural part of the island, and then modernity. The same as coffee. Coffee always processed traditionally, but then processed by a machine become a modern coffee through the barista machine. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. From Satria Dwi Cahyo. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Satria. On your presentation, international tourists visit more the agro-tourism than the local tourists. But due to a pandemic, how to attract local tourists to visit agro-tourism?
Yeah, that is very interesting. As I explained, the first benefit or the first advantage of agro-tourism is education. Now the question is, can we bring students to the agro-tourism? Now the government have to develop a policy integrating school with agri-tourism. And The problem actually in Indonesia is we do not create animation. Animation is event. We have to create animation to attract people to come to agrotourism. If you just selling coffee, selling a product of the farming, they are not quite interesting for local. You have to create animation. For example, competition might be drawing competition, or maybe chocolate making competition, or maybe paddy planting competition. So if you can make an animation like this, people will be interested to come and participate in the farming area. I think the key to attract local people to come is integrating school through the education, and you have to create animation. What is animation? Yeah, animation is event. You need to create events in the farming area. And I see, like in Colorado, they have lunch, and the lunch they have country music competition, and all of the country music musicians, they come to the village, and of course when the musician come to the village, all of the fans also come to the village, and they are getting together in the farm. But we can do things like this as well in Indonesia, but by keeping distance and following the rule and the regulation of the COVID-19, we call it protap or the SOP. I hope it is answering your questions, because this is not easy to answer this question, because the fact until now there is no tourist in agro-tourism. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Maybe it's the last question before we wrap up. From Dinda Sasa. Okay. Oh. Thank you for your presentation, sir. I'd like to ask, is there any social cultural impact in carrying out the agro-tourism development in Bali? As I know that many of the foreign visitors visiting, and Bali is rich in their cultures too.
Okay. The impact of agritourism on social and culture. I think I explained this now. Local people will be proud to expose the culture to the foreigners, to the tourists. Yeah, in terms of the impact, I think agrotourism bring positive impact on local culture. Positive impact, because wherever they starting agrotourism, the culture develop quickly in terms of the tourism culture. What I mean is tourism culture. They start creating special souvenir, dancing, they're creating farming dancing. In Bali, we have special dance, we call it kokokan, a dancing for like, what do you call it? Like birds. Yeah, that is taken from the natural chain. So creativity develop when there is agrotourism. But in terms of the culture, the traditional culture, it is not also bad impact, because agrotourism is developed in an area where is it followed traditionally by traditional village to develop farming area, not in the sacred place, not in the Utama Mandala, not in the temple area. As long as it is not against the Balinese culture, it will be safe to develop agrotourism. Yeah. And Balinese now, like almost everybody in the village thinking about agrotourism. Almost. How can we change my garden into agrotourism, even though I don't understand whether it can be defined as an agrotourism or not. For example, if they have a small hut, they have a small plot of strawberry farm, and they think, oh, this is agrotourism. They always think agrotourism. As long as they sell product for tourists, then they think that it's agrotourism. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope that you have some time to visit Bali and you can travel to the suburb, to the countries, and you are going to enjoy and you are going to be warmly welcomed by them. They are in the village, they are genuine people, they are real Balinese people, you know, because they are not contaminated by Western lifestyle like in the city.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like we are running out of time. It's 3 p.m. exact. Yeah. So we are sorry for not answering all your questions here. But I hope you enjoy the presentation and find it useful for you guys. And then Pak Budi, Mr. Budi, thank you so much for attending this online class. And then maybe before we wrap up, is there anything else that you want to say for the young people here? Maybe.
Yes, I would like to encourage you all young people that maybe previously you think that farming is not a promising profession. Being a farmer is not a promising profession. But if you are creative, if you can integrate farming with tourism, then your farming activities will even value more than you are working in the hotel or in the restaurant. And now you can see there's a big trend in Japan. A lot of young people going to the farm and they are making selfie pictures in the farm. So they are proud of being farmers because they start realizing whatever we have on our dining table, they are coming from the farm. They are coming from the farmers. So if young people with the technology, with the information technology, you can develop a special website helping farmers promoting their product. So with your capability and knowledge, you can contribute to the agrotourism by interpreting them with the technology. So young people go to the village, help them promoting the product because actually our life coming from the hand and from the life in the village. So this is my message. And the last thing is I hope all of you nowadays taking care of yourself, follow all of the regulation designed by the government to protect, to prevent ourselves from the virus corona contagious. So once again, thank you very much for your participation. Pak Dedi, you have Bukania. Thank you for inviting me, and it is a privilege to be part of you. I'm happy to see people from different countries, and I hope one day we can get together in Indonesia or in Bali. Thank you very much.
We thank you, Mr. Budi. Thank you so much. Okay. Nama Leonardo. Okay. So thank you all for attending this today's class. We hope you gain so many useful information. And then don't forget that you have to submit the the assignment before next Wednesday. Maybe you can check it out later in Avieta. And then don't forget again to mark the presentation list. And then Okay, then I turn over the time to Mrs. Kania. Then Mrs. Kania.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Ira, for getting the discussion, and thank you so much for Mr. Budi for sharing with us. I think all the participants are interested to your material because many questions asked of you, and we hope the participant will enthusiastic and the participant will and all the participants will increase her knowledge. Yes. Okay, thank you so much. And before I close the course, I will take the picture, and so the all participant open. Can you open camera? And I will take the picture from slide 1. Okay, maybe I have to create by one. Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, I will take the picture from the first slide. Okay, 1, 2, smile. Okay, wait, I will send to the group WhatsApp. Okay, and second. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. 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 Okay, thank you so much to all our participants for coming to this course. We hope this course will increase your knowledge, and I hope we will meet another event in other course. Maybe I don't know when we will. Oh, sorry, my connection.
Dengeran.
Okay, I'm sorry, the connection is not good. So, okay, thank you so much for all, and I will be close this course and see you next time maybe. And thank you so much once again, Mr. Budi and Miss Ira for the guiding this course and the discussion. Okay, good afternoon and see you next time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
Thank you, Sir Budi.
Nice to
Bye,
meet
sir.
See you in Bali.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
Mr.
Bye-bye.
Bedi. Thank you, Mrs. Ira. Thank
Thank
you.
you, ma'am.
Thank you, Miss Nonya.
Bye.
Thank you, Mr. Budarma.
Thank you.
Oke, Pak Bedi, terima kasih sudah hadir.
Sampai ketemu, bukan?
Terima kasih Bapak Ibu. Yang live-nya saya matikan ya. Record-nya saya off-kan.
Kalau sudah stop end meeting for all aja, Mbak. Bu.
Ya, saya stop recording dulu ya.